Disclaimer. This does not mean that I am officially coming out of semi-hiatus. This is just a small little one-off video that I wanted to do when the opportunity arose. And that time is now. Because I finally got my hands on a Nintendo Switch 2. One day, while looking at Target.com, I saw a notice saying that a Target about a mile from where I live had Nintendo Switch 2s in stock, so I secured one for pickup, and lo and behold, I finally have a Switch 2. And I have been playing a few games on this. The Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild, which runs so much better on the Switch 2. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which also runs so much better on the Switch 2. Game Freak really should not have released Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for the original Switch, because the hardware was clearly not made for it. I, however, have not played the tech demo, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, because it's, apparently is, so good that I just don't really want to talk about it. And of course, Mario Kart World, the brand new entry in this kart racing series.
Mario Kart World!
That is definitely not Charles Martinet. And of course, right away after launch, people have been comparing it to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and that it is a much weaker package somehow. So let me answer this question. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Mario Kart World? Which game is better? Honestly, at this point, who cares? The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the Nintendo Switch's launch title back when it came out in 2017, and yet, a month later was when Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was released, and to this day is still the #1 best-selling Nintendo Switch game.
However, I would just like to point out that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is at number 6. Like, what the actual heck?
In fact, Mario Kart 8 is even the #1 best-selling game on the Wii U. So it would make sense that Nintendo would make a new Mario Kart game as the launch title for their next system. I mean, it was eventually going to happen. And Mario Kart World is good. I really like it. I really like it. It is a very, very fun game to play. And yet, there are people that have to be sour over it. Mario Kart World has been getting review bombed on Metacritic. I have seen plenty of user reviews on Metacritic saying that Mario Kart World is not only a bad Mario Kart game, but also the worst Mario Kart game, and also that it looks worse than a budget mobile game. Which, my guy, if that is really what you think, then you need to get your eyes checked. If you seriously want to point fingers and to determine which Mario Kart game is the worst one, I would easily say Mario Kart 64. Which I guess is kind of a hot take. I mean, I grew up with the Nintendo 64, so it does hold a special place in my heart, but Mario Kart 64 just never was one of my favorite games on the system. Mario Kart World and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are two of the very best ones. In Mario Kart World, you have the stereotypical Grand Prix, time trial, and versus modes, the only difference being that the max racer count is increased to 24. So there is a lot more chaos involved. Also, I think it might be just me, but I think that Mario Kart World is somehow a tad bit harder than Mario Kart 8. It certainly makes things a lot more tense, especially with 24 racers, and I have certainly struggled getting 3 stars on every cup. On 150cc, mind you. Oh dear, a blue shell. Well, you know what I have to say about the blue shell? Nah. Wow, in midair too. Extra style points on that one. The time trials, especially against all of the Nintendo ghosts, can be pretty challenging at times. If you thought that they were challenging in Mario Kart 8, you are going to be surprised at how challenging some of these ghost races are in World. Especially the ghost on Rainbow Road, Nintendo Akira, I have not beaten him. Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road is honestly, seems like one of the easiest tracks to beat a Nintendo ghost on, and I just can't do it! Nintendo Akira, you are evil! And of course the new stuff. I was honestly a little surprised to hear that Mario Kart was going to get an open world free roam in the same manner as like Burnout Paradise and Forza. So many people say that it's boring, and they would be right. As you drive around, you can find small challenges in the form of blue switches. Some of them are pretty simple and easy and quick to do, while other times some of them can present a little bit more of a challenge. And other times they will make you get inside a giant semi-truck and cause a massive traffic accident along the highway, or they will make you get inside a UFO and start abducting people, which is honestly pretty hilarious. And there are peach medallions and question mark panels for you to collect. Sometimes they are pretty easy to get to, while other times they can be in pretty inconspicuous locations. My only real complaint about the free roam is that you can see how many collectibles and challenges that you have done, but you can't tell how many there are or which ones you have done on the map. You cannot keep track of them on the map, which is a little bit frustrating, and I am not going to be able to tell if I am even close to 100%ing it or not. Which honestly is not really my goal. I have no intention of 100%ing Mario Kart World free roam, but if you are a completionist, then this is going to peeve you. Other than that, free roam can be a little bit boring, but it can also be super chill. It is a nice way to get some practice in, practice your wall jumps and your rail grinding and all that jazz, and it's a good way to go for a nice, long, chill drive across the map to cool your head, especially after getting frustrated after losing a few races or time trials, which, trust me, is more than likely going to happen. But my absolute favorite new mode in Mario Kart World, without a doubt, is easily Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is essentially one long, continuous race across the world throughout multiple courses, and there is no stopping. And the biggest draw to Knockout Tour is that you need to be in a certain position when you cross the next checkpoint, otherwise you get knocked out of the race. And especially in multiplayer, it is pretty tense. It's essentially like a battle royale in a lot of ways, except, you know, more fun. Pay attention, kid, you'd better finish in 8th place or up, or you die. Come on, DK, we can do this. The checkpoint is right there. We're home free. Oh, no, not the bomb. This is not real. What you're seeing is all an illusion. It's not actually happening. This is all in your head. Yeah, we lost. He has no style. He has no grace. This Donkey Kong is a complete disgrace. I'm sorry, I had to do it. But yeah, Knockout Tour is the best mode in the game. And the multiplayer works really well. I haven't had any issues with lag or performance or whatever. I honestly don't know what else I can possibly say about it. Knockout Tour is just an absolute blast. So what else is essentially different in World compared to 8? Well, the underwater and anti-gravity tracks from 8 have been taken out of the equation. Both can provide some nice experimentation with movement, and you can go upside down, around, and topsy-turvy, and can add a really cool visual effect. Whereas in World, all there is wall jumping and rail grinding, and whenever you hit the water, your cart just turns into a jet ski. I'm not too sour over this, I just wish that Nintendo could have added to the anti-gravity and water features instead, rather than just take them out completely. What else was there? DK, stop looking at me like that. Oh, right. There's no denying that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has some of the most memorable courses in any Mario Kart game. Courses like Merry Mountain, Toad Harbor, Dolphin Shoals, Sunshine Airport, Water Park, Excite Bike Arena, which is one of my personal favorites. Also the courses that I would call retro courses from previous Mario Kart games. Those are also really fun and they look fantastic. Maybe I do need to play Mario Kart World a little bit more to get invested in its courses, but there are some fantastic courses in World too. Like Peach Stadium, Starview Peak, Shy Guy Bazaar, and DK Spaceport, which is essentially a gigantic version of the Donkey Kong arcade game, and it is fantastic. Although the one course in Mario Kart World that gave me the biggest jaw drop is Boo Cinema, where you are racing into a haunted movie theater where there are a bunch of boos sitting in seats waiting for a movie to start, and then you see yourself racing towards the screen and you jump into the screen and you're driving in the movie. That is a great course visually. At some point later on down the line, all of these courses are going to be considered classics. And then of course there is the character roster. There is of course a pretty decent selection of characters in Mario Kart World, but there is one thing from the character roster that is missing in it that still gives Mario Kart 8 to this day its charm, and that's the DLC characters. More specifically, the DLC characters from different Nintendo games. Characters like Isabelle and Animal Crossing Villager, frickin' Link, who is able to drive on his Divine Beast motorbike thing from Breath of the Wild, which honestly, makes way more sense in a Mario Kart game than it does in a Zelda game, and Inkling, which is my personal favorite. So what in Mario Kart World replaces the cameo and DLC characters in Mario Kart 8? All of the different animals and enemy characters that you can play as. Like, there are so many of them. You can race as a penguin, which is my favorite animal character in the game, and frickin' cow, which everyone has been going nuts over. Hello, it is my brethren. Notice me! I am in the big leagues now! And then you've got others such as Goomba and frickin' Snowman. Do not ask me how a Goomba or a Snowman is able to drive a go-kart without any arms or hands of any kind. I will never have the answer for you. It is just hilarious, but also cute. And speaking further on the roster, I also really like all of the different outfits for all of the characters, and they are very suitable for all of the characters that they are adorned to. I especially love all of the outfits for Daisy and Rosalina. They are absolutely gorgeous. And of course, there are also the karts. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is honestly still worth playing thanks to its kart customization. You can choose from a wide selection of kart bodies, tires, and gliders, and they all affect the kart's performance. Meanwhile, in World, this honestly is a small pet peeve to me. You can only choose from a selection of pre-made karts, and you cannot customize them at all. Except for, well, the bumper sticker, I guess. I guess that counts. And there is only a total of 40 different karts in the whole game. Maybe this is something that will be added to later with like a future update or something, but I really have no idea. Again, this is only a small pet peeve of mine. It is a little bit frustrating that you cannot customize your karts in Mario Kart World, yet at the same time, there are some pretty cool, yet hilarious kart designs in here. Tell me, who would not want to race on a motorbike that looks like Rob? And of course, there is also the best, and I mean the best, most spectacular, incredible kart ever to exist in the history of Mario Kart, right here in Mario Kart World, Lil Dumpy. I mean, it's certainly popular with the kids anyway. Also, we seriously need to sign a petition to stop baby abuse when they are on the racetrack. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So with all of this praise that I have been giving Mario Kart World so far, the bigger question is it really worth the price? I did get the console bundled with Mario Kart World, so I essentially got it at a $50 value, but the game alone is $80. So do I think that Mario Kart World is worth $80? Not really. There is plenty to like about it. The game plays really well, it looks amazing, the soundtrack is absolutely outstanding, with both fantastic music tracks for all the different courses and very slow, very smooth and jazzy music tracks for the free roam. It is also really cute listening to some of these soundtracks on the character selection screen while you're watching some of the characters dancing to it. It is a really good game. It is a really good Mario Kart game, but I am struggling to see how this game is worth $80. Yet, at the same time, I think the whole conversation with Mario Kart World being worth $80 is kind of a moot point, because at some point down the line, all games are going to be worth $80 anyway, so the conversation about Mario Kart World being $80 is going to become completely irrelevant. In fact, let me put it this way. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is essentially a Nintendo Switch version of a Wii U game that came out in 2014, and it costs $60. But it also has the course pack on the Nintendo eShop, which doubles the number of courses in the game, which is $25, which means Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in its entirety is $85. I really don't see the reason to single out Mario Kart World as being $80 and saying that it is a bad thing, because it is a really fun game. It is a really fun Nintendo game, and $80 is the price. I have no intention of abandoning Mario Kart 8 Deluxe over Mario Kart World because it is still a very fun game, especially in the multiplayer. Yet, Mario Kart World is the new kid on the block, and it is just as equally fun. I really like both of them, so I'm just not ready to declare one as better over the other. Even though there are a lot of differences between both games, both good and bad, both games are still Mario Kart, and Mario Kart is still ridiculously fun. So I think I speak for all huge Nintendo fans when I say, let's go.
Triple kill.